everybody. Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and I'm back with a new edition of my podcast entitled Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck, The Path to Making Over $100,000 a Year when writing service in the automotive industry in the United States of America, Canada, and or Australia. And you know what, this recording, like I always like to say, at this very recording, we're now over 20% of you doing that job are making over $100,000 a year, and that is great, but it also means that nearly 80% of you doing that job are not. So what are we going to do to get you there? Well, I think you're smart to keep watching these podcasts. I think you'd be smart to go to my website and take a look at the videos I have there, the past podcasts, the blogs, the articles, and everything else there. Because when you watch that and you watch me, you will get information, techniques, processes, word tracks, and everything you need to maximize the opportunity that you have every day out on that service drive. I guarantee it. We'll get you in that $100,000 a year club if you want to be there. I'm coming to you today with a great message, and these are always really popular messages because from time to time I'll take some myths that just won't seem to die in the automotive industry, and we talk about them, and I dispel them, okay? And I'm going to do that today. I'm going to talk about a couple of myths here. Let's jump in. Myth number one, we can't sell preventative maintenance and repairs because of where we live. Again, we can't sell preventative maintenance and repairs because where we live. You know, the zip code we're in, the town we're in. We're in a small city, a big city. We're in the country. We're in the suburbs. We can't sell maintenance and repairs where we are because of where we are. Well, that is a myth. I'm going to dispel it for you right now, real quick. Let's assume that, and it's not assume, it's a fact. If you take a look at any vehicle, any model, they all come from the same manufacturer. They all come from the same factory. They're all made by the same people, and they all come with the exact same owner's manual. So, that being the fact, when you open up an owner's manual, it will tell you that at certain mileage, certain vehicles are required to have certain maintenances. So whether you live in Maine, Texas, Idaho, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, Arizona, Las Vegas, doesn't make any difference. If you're driving one of those vehicles and you get to a certain amount of mileage, according to the owner's manual, you're supposed to have something done. It has nothing to do with zip codes. It has everything to do, though, with your ability as an individual to handle customers and get them excited enough to buy your services when you present them. Now, you notice I also said repairs. Now, repairs, I will give you this. Local driving conditions may slightly accelerate or decelerate when a repair needs to be done. I mean, you might have extreme weather where it's really cold or it's really hot. You've got mountains, it's flat, it's deserty, it's damp. You know, so that may slightly accelerate or decelerate certain repairs, but it's real simple. If a customer has a vehicle, no matter where they're driving it, and it needs a repair, if they don't buy it from you, they're going to buy it from someplace, because if they don't buy it and get the repair done, the car will underperform and may even cease to operate. And in today's climate, like we've talked about in several of the latest podcasts I've done, with unemployment where it is and nearly 30 million people out looking for work, when somebody wakes up in the morning and their car doesn't start, knowing that 30 million people may be knocking on their boss's door trying to take their person's job, I mean, they're going to get these repairs done. There's no doubt about it. They need the car to get to the doctor, to get the kids back and forth to school, to get to the grocery store, and everything else. You know, so this is a myth, and you got to get around it. And whenever I visit a place, because I've visited plenty of those over the years where people use that excuse that's the reason they can't sell anything, well, I do two things. One of the things I will do is I will go to other businesses, I will take a look at their numbers, and I'm talking sometimes right across the street, right down the street, within just a few miles of that same business, and show that those same service centers in your area, your zip code, are selling those maintenance and repairs. I also go out and I will work the drive for 4 or 5 days, writing up customers, and prove that your customers will buy this stuff. So, I would recommend you do this. If your subordinates are telling you that because of where you live, people won't buy services and repairs, then I recommend you hire an independent person, come in and do an assessment of your shop. After they do that assessment, they're going to prove to you that there are plenty of opportunities being missed, and it's not your customers, it's your employees. And so then what you do after you've been proven that your shop can sell these things, because people will buy them, then what you do is you invest in a great training program and train your people how to handle these customers, show them how to be a salesperson, you put a process in place, and you hold your people accountable, and you start maximizing the opportunity. Because again, this is nothing more or less than an excuse, and it's an excuse that I found is usually perpetrated by people who are too lazy to get off their butt, and instead of spending that energy on trying to figure out why we're not getting the sales, they put it on why they're not, on these myths. But if you start putting the energy toward what works and solutions, you'll be there. Now there's another note, there's a real close sister to this myth here, and that is our service department is new, it's old, it's big, it's small, we don't have a service drive, we have to write it up out in the parking lot, blah, 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 blah. None of that, zero. None of that makes a difference. If a vehicle comes in at a certain mileage, it's required you do a certain amount of maintenance. If a vehicle comes in, it needs a repair, then it's up to you to get it sold. The difference is you. You as an individual. Now I've got another myth that I want to dispel here, but before I do, I want to encourage you to call Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk, and you do that by simply dialing 1-800-248-2931. And when you call that number, anybody that picks up the phone can show you how we can get you the highest sales, the highest hours per repair order, and customer hours per repair order. We can show you how to get the highest effective labor rate. We'll show you how to get perfect, or at least near perfect survey scores. We'll show you how to get your customer retention up like that. One of the easiest things to do is get customer retention. We'll show you how to eliminate heat cases and disgruntled customers forever. Now we have a whole host of ways that we can get that done for you, and we will get it done for you, but the first step is to dial 1-800-248-2931, and again, anybody picks up that phone, we'll show you how we can get that done. You can also go to automotiveservicetraining.com, fill out a form, and somebody will call you and show you how you are missing a ton of opportunity, and we will show you how to take advantage of that opportunity and maximize the opportunity that you have. Now again, we don't push people, we don't twist their arms and sell them stuff they don't need. We just do the old-fashioned way. We show your people how to handle today's customer and how to get them excited about your services. I mean, you know, and we've talked about numbers before, man. If you're not at least at 2.0, and that's low, 2.0, including oil changes, and your effective labor rate's not around 90% or higher, and you have over 80% customer retention and near perfect survey scores, and you have a bunch of heat on your drive, you're not doing something right. Because right now, I've never seen a customer, by the way, that's easier to handle and more willing to buy than we've got going on right now. But back to the point here. We talked about a myth so far. The first myth is that because of where we live, because of our zip code, we can't sell preventative maintenance repairs, and we've debunked that. All vehicles come from the same manufacturer, from the same factory, built by the same people with the exact same owner's manual, which dictates what people need. It's not a zip code thing, it's a people thing. Another myth. Now this one here just drives me nuts. Here's another myth. I can't get my advisors, our managers, to sell. I can't get my advisors, managers say that, and business owners say, I can't get my managers to sell. I can't get my people to sell. Well, listen, managers, if you've not said that to your boss yet, if you've not told them, to the business owner, that you can't get your people to sell, you can't get them to follow processes, you can't get them to memorize 15, 20 word tracks, you can't get them, then don't tell them that. Because if you tell them that, what you're also telling them is that you're an ineffective leader. You don't know how to lead. You're worthless. You're not doing the job. And what you do when you admit to your bosses that you can't get your people to follow whatever process you've established and get you these numbers, you've admitted you can't lead, you don't know what you're doing, and you've put yourself firmly on the highway to being fired soon. Okay, so if you've not said that to your bosses, don't. All right, okay, it just means you're ineffective. Now, if you're a business owner, because we hear this from business owners too, I just can't get my people to get their people to hold people accountable. I can't get them to follow what I want done. Well, then do this as a business owner. Sign yourself up for some leadership courses, learn the success and profit principles of running a business, and start maximizing the opportunity you have. Now, I get what's going on here. You're the owner, you want everyone to like you, you want to be popular, you want to be the nice guy, And again, I get it as a business owner. You want to do that. But if you allow your people to not do what you know needs to be done to get the maximum results, then you're failing your customers. Because if your people won't follow a process that gets you the maximum numbers, then there's no way your customers are getting the best service. They don't know what's going on with their car. They're not buying the maintenance. They're not buying the repairs. Their vehicles are underperforming, and that's not fair to them. Okay? So what's a possible solution? Because we find this happen way many more times than you would imagine. It's a great, and it's just an excuse. So what's a possible solution? Now, I've done this many times. What I'm getting ready to give you is a solution. I've done this many times. I'll talk to you about one that comes to mind. It's a Chevrolet dealer back in Indianapolis years ago. All right, and I've done this many times since. A dealer calls me up and says, "Hey Jeff, I know that you're the expert at doing this. Get our service drive and our service department up to snuff. Why don't you come in and do an assessment?" So I did. Went in and told him conservative number, including part sales, you're leaving $1.6 million out on that service drive. In reality, I think if you really rolled up your sleeves and went to work, you're probably leaving closer to $3.2 million on the service drive. He asked me, what do I got to do to get it? I explained it to him. He looked back at me and he says, I just don't think I can get my guys to do that. And I said, what do you mean you can't get your guys to do that? You pay them to do just that. What do you mean you can't get them to do it? He said, I just can't get them to do it. And it became very apparent to me very quickly. This guy was more in love with the idea of people loving him and seeing him as the nice guy than he was of maximizing the return on investment that he should have been maximizing when he started the business. So here's what we did. I convinced him to do this. Let me go ahead and set up my complete system in your service department. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hire a lane manager to manage your service advisors both in the main shop and in the express services. Okay, now this lane manager is going to have carte blanche control. If he decides somebody needs to go, he can't be overridden by the service manager or fixed operations director. If he decides a new process or word track needs to be learned, he can't be overridden by the service manager, fixed operations director. His job is to make sure that everybody that's writing service out there, express, main shop, executes the process 100% of the time. Now, we did that. Now, when we did that, everybody won. Because what we set up was the good cop, bad cop. The dealer won because he got to be the nice guy. The lane manager won because he did his job. Now he took all the heat and all that stuff, and the squad, the employees that were mad because they had to change and be more profitable, make more money, and have an easier job. So he got all that. The owner got to be the nice guy. But in the end, they both were they both ended up being highly respected and highly loved because the dealer again didn't have to deliver any bad news, could be the nice guy. But the lane manager who first got a lot of pushback quickly got the respect and became loved by his employees because he got them sales they'd never seen before. No arm twisting, no pushing, no selling stuff that had been done. He just showed them how to be salespeople and maximize the opportunity. He showed them how to get their numbers up. He showed them how to get effective labor rate. He showed them how to have happier customers. Showed them how to eliminate heat cases forever. Got them near perfect survey scores and customer retention through the roof. And icing on the cake was he showed them how to make substantially more money. So everybody won. Now, it did require a $96,000 a year investment to get that lane manager because we put a little base salary out there and then we had him highly incentivized. It was mostly straight commission, so it did cost $96,000. But everybody forgot about that and the dealer forgot about it when he ended up with nearly $3 million more on the bottom line at the end of every year. It worked out for everybody, and every time I've set it up since that time, it's worked out again. So I mean, if you're a business owner and you want to be the nice guy, then hire somebody to come in and be the bad guy, and everybody will win, just like I just said. I mean, again, and if you're a manager, you don't ever tell your owner, you can't get your people to do what they want them to do, because when you do that, I left this out earlier, but what you admitted is that you've got the inmates running the asylum, and what you've got out there is you've got your 3 or 4 or 5 advisors who won't follow your processes, dictating to you and that business owner how successful you're going to be, how much profit you're going to have, how much money you're going to make. No way. I never thought it was okay to allow service advisors to dictate what everybody else in that department's going to make and how successful they're going to be. You got people out there that don't want to do it. You need to get a leader in place that can get those people motivated to do it, or you need to get a leader in place that's going to replace those people that will do it, because not me, man. I mean, myth. And these myths are typically, any of the myths that we talk about, past or present, it's usually they're put out there by people who are lazy and trying to excuse themselves out of getting good numbers and having to work hard, do what they're paid to do. They can go in and just lounge around, do whatever. It's just junk in my mind. I mean, this is an hell of an opportunity. And here's why it's a great opportunity right now. I mean, I've said this before, and I say it again. You know, here we are September 2020, and with this pandemic, you know, coming to its end and this virus out there, we've never seen a customer easier to work with and more willing to invest in their vehicle than right now. If you don't have great numbers in your shop, and I mean like world-class numbers, well above 2.0, effective labor rate 90%, 80% customer retention, near perfect survey scores and all that stuff, you're doing something wrong. It's never been easier, never been an easier customer out there. No, one more thing before I go. Let's talk about one more myth. There's going to be people that after watching this podcast are going to try and convince you that me, Jeff Cowan, is full of shit. Well, let's talk about the facts on this one. I've personally stood on over 700 service drives all across the United States of America, every size, every kind, every shape, same thing in Canada, Australia. I've seen it all. Okay, I've personally stood on over 700 service drives as an individual. As a company, we've been on over 3,500 different service drives and counting. I've got 32 years experience, and I've got reams and reams of data and references and referrals that will tell you that if somebody tells you I'm full of shit, that's a myth, because I'm not. I know what I'm doing, and I can help you, and my staff can help you if you just call 1-800-248-2931, and you'll find that final myth, Jeff's full of shit. I just basically dispelled that, because the fact is we know what we're doing. Hey, listen, I appreciate you watching today. I can't wait to do my next podcast and have you watch that. It'll be another one next week. In the meantime, between now and next week, and I get that podcast up and running, I hope that you have a great week. I hope you have an outstanding week, because that's what I'm going to do. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. I will see you soon. Take care.